Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I'm Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den, okay? So now, y'all, this is my review recap for Atlanta, okay? Season 4, Episode 7, Snipe Hunt. Listen, y'all, I like this episode. This was cute, okay? It was not over the top and it wasn't weird and it wasn't, extra comedy. But it was tugging at those heartstrings, okay? It was tugging at those heartstrings. It was giving us a little drama, and that's what I like about, Atlanta. They kind of like me and my channel where they give you a little bit of everything, okay? And they are taking this last season out with a bang, in my opinion. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm absolutely here for it all the way. They started it out playing Sade while they riding in the car, baby. Okay, your love is your king, and baby, let me tell you, you know, can't go wrong with Sade. Side note, she's in the studios now, about to hit us with some new jams. I'm here for it all the way, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this episode, okay? If I had to choose a drink of the day for this episode, I think it would be some wine by the fireplace, all right? I would not be heading to the camping grounds like them, but nonetheless, we gonna go ahead and take it from the top, y'all. So with this episode, we have Ern, Van, and Lottie driving, to this camp or whatever, right? And like I said, they playing Sade, Love is King. I'm like, all right now, get it. And so Lottie was kind of telling him, you might want to get ready to slow down. Ern was looking around saying, yeah, the opening should be coming up soon. Did I pass it? Did we miss it? And so they just kind of looking, trying to figure out where they going, right? And then they see this guy as they make this turn, and they like, oh, okay, we going in the right place. There he is. And so when they stop by him, he comes up and introduces himself, and he's like Ern, and he's basically like, okay, telling them the way that they're gonna go and how they gotta go. He's like, is this the birthday girl? So we found out that it is, Lottie's birthday. And he also basically was letting Ern know, like, you may want to go like about 5 miles an hour when you driving, okay? Because it do sometimes be people coming through the crossing. He's like, welcome, welcome to you. Be glad to have you. But he says, it be kids, it be dogs, and sometimes even deer that's coming through. So Ern was like, okay, yeah, sorry. And so, he just lets them know where they got to go to be able to set up, and that they have the entire grounds. And, he says happy birthday to Lottie or whatever the case may be. Ern introduces him to Van. And so they go ahead and make their way down this road to get to where they are going to be camping at, all right? And, when they get out the car, Van is like, now, how likely do you think it is? Okay, what is the chances do you think that this guy may want to come and kill us in our sleep? And Ern was like, maybe about 8%, all right? But, they over here trying to set everything up, and Ern got this real big, tent, and she was like, what size daggone tent is this that you got? And so I think he said it holds like 12 people. Now, why would you get something that big that's for 12 people and there's only y'all three? I don't know. But, he want to be all extravagant. Okay, he got the money for it. So he basically was like, the guy told me this was the best one. I went all out. It was the most expensive one. Excuse me. And, they're going to go ahead and set it up. And so he basically was like, it's supposed to have, split rooms, and it's supposed to have like a porch with it too. And I was like, really, Ern? So Van is telling him we're going to be freezing. And he's like, what? She was like, yeah, if it has that much space, it's not going to insulate us, and we won't have enough body heat with all the space. But she like, it's fine though. We're going to make it work. So he was like, oh man, I got so excited. I'm sorry. I didn't know. And she was like, don't worry about it. It's really nice. It's okay. So they go ahead to start, trying to get it together now. In the meantime, they asking Lottie if she want to come over and help. And she's pretty much like, nah, I'm good. She go down by the rock. She looking in the water. How kids do, okay? She don't really seem like she too much want to be bothered. Like it's not making her a difference in the daggone world. And I didn't know if this was necessarily somewhere that I would have took a 6-year-old for a birthday. But I guess at the end of the day, it's just about quality time and them being together as a family. So she just walks off and goes by the water while, they're putting everything together. So now they got this tent together somewhat. You know, it was kind of doing a little lean. It had the little gangster lean going on. It wasn't all the way straightened up. They was like, was we missing a pole? You know, did we do something wrong? And they basically asked Lottie how she like it. And, you know, Van is asking her which room you want. And you hear her say, well, we could take this one, right? And she's like, well, where's Daddy gonna be? Which space is his? And she was like, he could stay outside. I was like, well, damn, Lottie. She ain't even want him in there, you know. Ern over here talking about, well, let me just go ahead and get my toothbrush, right? And so, you know, I thought that was funny. And he had asked Van while they was putting the tent together, he's like, you know, have you thought anything about LA? And she was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. Okay, it's been on my mind. But she was like, can we go ahead and talk about that a little later? And so he said, sure, whenever you want, right? Cool with me. And so, you know, they basically go ahead and you know, try to get things set up or whatever the case may be. And then, you know, you see them trying to just do a little sightseeing, y'all, and take a walk along this trail. And they get to this space where the river is like really rushing and going wild and rough. And Van is like, nah, this is too wild, it's too rough. Like, we not gonna be able to cross that now. Of course, Ern, typical man, he over here like, nah, I think we could do it. He was like, as a matter of fact, I could put her on, you know, my back. It might come up to our knees or, you know, our thighs or something like that. We'll get a little wet, but, you know, we could do it. And she's like, nope, we can't do it. And he was like, you don't think so? She was like, no. Then he tried to point to some other area where they could possibly cross. And she was like, nope, that's going to collapse. Okay, that is going to collapse. We ain't doing that either. So basically, they end up walking back in the opposite direction, you know, from where they had just came from. And when they get back over there, they kind of just go by. It looked like it was an abandoned building with, you know, just like a little grass area, having a little picnic or whatever, and just letting Lottie, you know, kind of roam and play on her own while they sit there and they's talking. So, you know, Lottie's just kind of in her own world. Like, Ernest asking her, you know, Lottie, how you enjoying your birthday so far? She's just basically acting like he didn't even say nothing to her and was like, is there any other snacks? Ern was like, well, dag, it's like I'm not even here, you know. And Van basically says, I think we do. And then, you know, Ern was saying, you know, what kid doesn't enjoy their birthday or whatever? What 6-year-old doesn't enjoy their birthday? And she was like, you know how she is. She gets into her moods, but she'll be okay. You know, don't pay it no mind. Don't take it too much to heart. And so, you know, she's over here trying to catch something and, you know, I guess like a bug, a butterfly, or whatever. And Van is like, you can't catch nothing. She's like, oh, well, we're going to go fishing later, so you'll catch that. She said, and we also are going to do, you know, this snipe hunt. And so she was like, snipe? What is snipe? And Ern is looking at her too, like a snipe. And so she was like, yeah, we're going to go snipe hunt. And so she was like, it's a really rare creature, you know, and it only comes at night, out at night, and it's really eerie, and, you know, it's crazy long, and it has these red eyes. And so Ern is really looking at her like, what the hell are you talking about? And she was like, you got to be the coolest and the smartest to catch it, or whatever the case may be, right? And I can't catch it alone, but I can catch it if I have your help. So she was like, you know, you think we could try that? And Lottie is basically saying, yeah, they could try. So Ern is like, are you punking our daughter? You know, are you pranking our daughter? And she basically was like, you never did a snipe hunt? You don't know what a snipe hunt is? And he like, no. She was like, it's a tradition. It's something they do in Girl Scouts. And he was like, you was in Girl Scouts? I didn't even know that. She said, yeah, it was one summer when I was like 8 years old, but I really didn't like being around people, you know, that I didn't know like that and I didn't vibe with like that as far as camping with them. So this is supposedly something she learned then. So he's like, okay, cool. Now, the next thing you know, Lottie's over here coming with this toad, and she's like, no, 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 okay, put the toad down. The toad is not yours. We got to let it go or whatever, right? And then they go ahead to go and get on this boat and do some fishing, right? They leave from there, and they basically walk back. And while they're walking back from there, you know, Lottie and Ern, you know, she's finally opening up and talking to him, and they're just having this whole conversation about ice cream. You know, she's saying how if you eat a lot of ice cream, you gain all this weight. And Ern is like, really? Well, if that's the case, I would be big because I'll be eating ice cream every day. Okay, I eat ice cream for breakfast. And she was like, no, you don't. And you just see Van looking and watching them two together and how they interacting and having like this little smile on her face or whatever while she's observing them too, right? And then they go ahead and they go to get on this boat and do the fishing together. And, he's still kind of asking her, like, you okay? Everything all right? And she like, yeah, but I wish Granddad was here. And he was like, that's understandable. Nothing wrong with that. I could see that. But he was like, they're going to get to spend your birthday with you this weekend. We'll all spend it together and celebrate some more, with them then. And then Van kind of asked her, like, do you just miss him, or do you wish that he was here now with us? And she was like, a little bit of both. So I thought that was cute, and she still was opening up and pretty much enjoying it for what it was. Right. And then, Ern, I don't know if he still was kind of feeling a little sad, like, well, Dax, she ain't really happy to be with me, or she don't really want to be here with me too much, huh? And so then they basically, at this point it's starting to get dark. They over here putting the franks on the fire to cook them, and Ernest's like, am I just really hungry, or is this good? Van is singing, yeah, it's pretty good too. So now you can't tell a child nothing, because they ain't gonna forget what you said. So Lottie like, mommy, it's night, okay, the moon is out. She ready for this daggone snipe hunt that she brung up. In the meantime, Ernest asking about LA again. Like, I think we should talk more about LA, but this is when, he gets interrupted with, Lottie saying, Mom, the moon is out. And so at first she was like, well, yeah, no, oh, it is. She was like, but why don't we just wait till tomorrow for the snipe hunt, baby? She was like, it's kind of late now. And Ernest looking at her, and she's looking at her, Lottie's looking at her, because, daggone well, you can't tell a child something and then they not gonna freaking want to do it. So then they look at each other, and she goes and she says, hand me this pillowcase, open it up. You're going to put a marshmallow inside of it, right? And she was like, just one. And then she's like, you're going to take the marshmallow, you're going to put it all the way down in the bottom, all the way at the end, or whatever the case may be. And you're going to put your Latin down, or whatever the case may be. And, leave an opening so that when the snipe walks in, you're the only one that could see it. And she was like, you're going to need a stick. And she passes her the stick. And she was like, when it makes a sound and it get in there, then you just basically hit it. You're luring it in. And so, meanwhile, of course, Ernest just looking at her like, what are you talking about? And she said, the marshmallow is basically baked. And so she was like, you're going to take your foot and you're going to stomp on the pillowcase once you trap the snap inside and hit it on its head with the stick. So she's like, okay, cool. She talking about, you stay here, you have fun, we going to be right over here. So now she done just left this baby here on this mission, supposedly to capture this damn snipe in the pillowcase. Meanwhile, Ernest looking at her, looking at Lottie, looking back at Van, walking away, looking at Lottie again like, okay, you really just walking away, leaving her here to catch a damn snipe? That's what we doing? Okay. So then he follows behind her, and they go back and sit over, by the fire, and they leave Lottie there by the light with this pillowcase. So now when they both sit down, she basically just was sitting and getting ready to eat on something, and Ernest just sitting here playing with this daggone stick, and they both just quiet or whatever by the fire. And eventually Ernest like, what? And then Van is like, what? And they both kind of start giggling or whatever the case may be, and blushing or whatever have you. And then he's like, LA, of course he don't want to let that go. He's like, you gonna come with me? So she just was basically like, is that what this is all about? Is that what you did all of this for? And he was like, huh, what do you mean? He was like, I did this because I wanted Lottie to have a really nice birthday, because she was like, oh, this is really manipulative to rent out a whole campground or whatever and bring us here in a way to get them to LA. And he was like, I wanted to make Lottie's birthday special. And so she was like, oh, okay. And then, she's just still kind of looking. She didn't really answer him right away. And the next thing like, he was like, can I ask you a question or whatever? And she was like, yeah, sure. So he was basically like, what's so great about Atlanta? Why don't you want to leave Atlanta? Why don't you think you could go somewhere else? What is it that you can't leave behind? And she basically was saying to him, like, it's her choice to stay or whatever the case may be. And he was like, it's not about that though. That's not the point. And then she was like, well, I'm afraid that is about you wanting me to go there because you don't want to be alone and you're scared to be alone out there. And I'm not your security, your security blanket or whatever the case may be. Right. And so I could understand that. That makes sense, that you don't want to just go somewhere just because, you think that somebody, doesn't really want you, but they want you to be alone just because they're used to you type of thing, right? And so at this point, Lottie starts screaming, so it interrupts their conversation, and she's saying, I got him. So they go running like, you got him. She's like, yeah, and you could basically see in the pillowcase that she has something inside of it and is moving. You don't know what it is. And she was like, I took the stick and hit it just like you said. It had red eyes and I caught it. So at this point, because they see something moving, Van is like, listen to me, baby. She's like, count to 3. You're going to put the light down. Then you're going to throw that daggone pillowcase down and you're going to run over here to mommy, okay? And she's like, okay. So she basically was like, 1, 2, 3. And Lottie come running. She like, are you okay, baby? You know, she's actually really scared, but she trying to hold it together for Lottie. So, you know, Ernest like, what is that? And she like, I don't know. He's like, hold this. And he go over there walking, you know what I'm saying, towards it or whatever to see what it is. And she's telling him to be careful. So now when he get over there or whatever, child, I don't know what it was. Because to be honest, I had to cover my eyes for a minute. I said, is this going to be a snake? Is this going to be a rat? Because we know it's something that's moving around and I can't stand no damn rats. So I ain't even want to see it. And just in case it was. But it looked like it was some type of snake. Like you could basically hear the hissing noise and you could see like a tail swinging or whatever. So he was like, what is that? You know, Ern jumped back once and was moving and did that. And she, you know, here go Lottie. Lottie is a snake, okay? That's what y'all said and that's what I caught, all right? So now they take her in and they just have like some s'mores with the little 6 candle on it. And they was ready to sing happy birthday to her. But Lottie was not having it, okay? As soon as they started happy birthday, she was like, no singing, please. Okay, stop it. Shh, all right? We don't need that. And she went ahead and blew her daggone candles out. I thought that was funny. You know, Lottie said, we don't need that. We ain't doing all that. So they was just like, happy birthday, baby. You know, you getting so big or whatever the case may be. And so, you know, then they go ahead to lay down and, you know, take it down for the night, all right? They're going to go ahead and get inside this tent now and sleep. But it's actually Van and Lottie that's still in the tent sleep. And it's freaking Ern actually laying outside like Lottie told him to and freezing his behind off. So she was like, is that you out here, you know, with your teeth chattering on back? She was like, come on, man, and get in here, lay down and try to get some heat. So he come in and he, you know, she's on one side of Lottie. He's on the other. Lottie basically ends up in the middle of them. And he's like, dag, her feet is cold. And then, you know, he there like, Lottie. And she's like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm trying to make sure that she really sleep. He over here asking Lottie if she wants some more s'mores. And, you know, she didn't move. She didn't answer or nothing. So, you know, Van kind of laughs at that. And of course, he goes back into this discussion of this LA. You know, he want to just get this all out, have this conversation, tell her about LA, find out whether she's going with him to LA. I'm assuming before they leave this daggone camping trip, right? He want to know what her answer is, what she thinking about it, whatever have you. And so he brings it up again, like, you know, what is going to be your answer as far as LA? He's like, you know, I don't want you to think that I'm just wanting you to come with me because I'm scared of being alone. I wouldn't be alone. I don't have to be alone. I could always find somebody, you know, I could get somebody new. But the point of the matter is that it's not about that or whatever, right? And he's like, I'm not saying it to be cocky, but I basically would have a new job, a new start. I'm not a bad looking person. He was like, you know, are you thinking that this is just about a co-parenting situation? Because that's not what it is. He was like, I want us to be a family, all right? I want to be a family. I want us to be a family. I said, I know that's right, Ern. You better speak up, baby. You know, he was like, I mean, look at Lottie. Look at what we created. She's amazing, you know, and that came from the both of us. She's the physical manifestation of what happens when we got together. And he was like, she's smart. She's intuitive. She's kind. You know, she's sensitive. And so, you know, Van is like, he said she's the best parts of us, you know, and he was like, I'm just really wanting, you know, us to be all together, whatever. I love you. I love Lottie and I want us to be together. And I know, you know, Van says, I know you'll miss her, whatever the case may be. She was like, you know, he says, Van, I'm fighting for you. Cause she says, I'm fighting for everything. And when do you know me to fight for anything? And so she at first was saying like, you know, I know you wouldn't see her as much and you probably feel like you would miss her. You know, he probably would only get to come maybe twice a year or every couple of months or whatever. And then he was like telling her like, you know, Van, look at me. And so when she turned and looked at him or whatever the case may be, he was just saying to her, that I love you, period, point blank. All right, I love you, I want you, I can't. And she says, I can't just pack up my whole life, because you love me as Lottie's mom. And so then he got up, and I thought he was about to get up and just walk out, because that was kind of deep what she said. And he was like, that's, she told him, that's not enough for me. All right, and I feel you, girl, I feel you on that too. Okay. And so when he got up, he actually ends up coming like literally out and over to her side where she was at, and sat over her, sat in front of her, whatever the case may be, and was basically like, it's not about that. He was like, I still want you. It's not about you just being, Lottie's mom. I desire you, I love you, I just still have feelings for you. He was like, when I think about you, yeah, I think about you as the child of my mother, but I think of you as more than that, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't stop there. I want to burst when I think about that fact. And I've never felt anything like that before in my entire life. I said, okay, Aaron, you better come on and spill it. He was like, I wasn't able to feel that before, whatever the case may be. And, I know I'm going to love you forever no matter what. But at the end of the day, I still want to be with you, or whatever the case may be, right? And he was like, he's doing all of this because of that feeling, right? What else is there? And I said, okay, Ern, you better talk your mess, baby. You better fight that fight and put your whole heart out there and pour it out, okay? And so, at this point, she got tears coming down. He got a little bit of tears coming down. And he was like, do you understand? And she was like, yeah, I know what you mean, And so basically he just still was standing over her looking real serious, in her face, or whatever the case may be, while she laying there and looking at Lottie, looking at him. And at one point I seen Lottie moving. I said, Lottie ain't sleeping over there, okay? I don't care what y'all say. So he was like, finding someone new would be easy. It's not about, it being consuming, or it being hard, or, who it would be, and all of that stuff. Is that I don't want that at all. I don't want nobody new. I just want you. I want this, and I want it with you. I say, I know that's right, Ern, okay? Come through, come through, come through, come through, come through, okay? And so I said, now, is it getting through to Van? I don't know. So he says, will you come to LA with me? Will you be a family, right? And, like a real family, for real, or whatever, right? And so she just was still laying there, and I'm looking and waiting. He looking and waiting. I'm saying, Van, what the answer gonna be? And then she's like, okay. And he's like, okay. And then she's like, you ain't cold? Because remember, at this point, he done got out and came to her side and just standing there. And he's like, yeah, I'm freezing. So, he go ahead and he laid down with her, whatever, on her side now, right? There's no more Lottie in between. So now when they wake up, Lottie is like at one end, and they look like they on the other end, basically opposite of where, they have went to sleep. And they like, I think we slid. And then they go out there and they all brushing their teeth. Ernest like, it looks like it's gonna rain. Next thing you know, it actually starts raining. So they had packed up most of the stuff, and Van was taking down the tent. He was like, man, leave that, we'll get another one, let's just get this stuff to the car, before it really start pouring down. And so they got had to head over to the car and get everything in there, whatever the case may be. And, they packing up all the car, whatever. And now we laughing, we getting along good. We got a good vibe. And they like, we got everything. Yeah, let's go. Let's get in here. Let's get the heck up out of here, right? And so as they get in the car, to leave, we started it with Sade, okay? And we ended with Sade as they're driving back, or, to go home. Now he is playing Love is Stronger Than Pride. I said, I know that's right. Get it, Ern. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. All right. And so, basically, you see them driving away, and you see Lottie looking at how they interacting with each other in the front while she's sitting in the back, and you see her get a little smile on her face. I said, Lottie, I see you, girl. We here, okay? That whole attitude, Lottie, had changed, and they're just riding away together with the Sade playing like, I still really, really love you. Love is stronger than pride. I said, I know that's right, y'all. Go ahead. I enjoyed this episode, y'all. I thought it was cute. I was here for it. Me and Lottie was okay with it. We both had a smile on our faces. But you guys tell me what you thought about this episode. Put it in the comments. Y'all know how we do. Let's discuss, let's discuss, let's discuss. Okay. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are so inclined, give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. All right, y'all. Till next time. Toodaloo.